Hello, this is Kevin Annett, Eagle Strong Voice. It's July 1st, 2021. This is an announcement of a decision by 9 Indigenous nations across the former Dominion of Canada, now the Federated Republic of Canada. An announcement by these nations that the genocidal churches, the Catholic, Anglican, and United Churches, have been permanently evicted and banished from their territories. I hope you're as outraged as I am, as I have been for so many of the past 25 years, that those children lying in the ground were brutally tortured, raped, thrown in there, their memory buried until now when the killers get out the shovels and start destroying their own crime scene sites. Not one person has ever been tried in the farcical courts of Canada for the torture, the slow death, the medical experimentation, the sterilization, the other horrendous crimes done on those little children, 60 to 80,000 of whom never came back. And these killers are now posing as they're some kind of enlightened people who have seen the errors of their ways while they continue to do the crimes. Well, the only way we've ever been able to stop that is through direct action. The only reason we know about those graves today is not because of the beneficence of these killers of church and state. It's because of direct grassroots action that forced that decision. In 2007 and 2008, our movement of Native and non-Native people across Canada started occupying the Catholic, Anglican, and United Churches in Vancouver, in Winnipeg, in Toronto. That made the press all over Canada until it began to get censored out. And as a direct result of that, within a few months, the so-called apology happened. The so-called whitewash called the Truth and Reconciliation Commission happened. A whitewash beyond imagination. And yet all of those measures happened because of our direct action. Because we occupied their churches. We understood, as Sun Tzu teaches in The Art of War, that when you strike at what the enemy loves, they have to respond, no matter how big they are. What they love is their money and their public image. We struck at that, we took over those churches, and they collapsed. Now, the fog of censorship can't hide the fact that those methods work. We have to evict these churches now. First of all, they sit on our lands. And by our, I include the non-Indigenous people of Canada, who have suffered just as much at the hands of the Crown over in Europe and here now, as an adopted member of the Ojibwe Anishinaabeg people of Winnipeg, who gave me the name Eagle Strong Voice, Ganu Geshiwe Gikido in 2007, as the fiduciary officer of Elder Capilano, who empowered me in 2008 in the Supreme Court of British Columbia to undertake these evictions and to expel these churches and to begin a war crimes tribunal, which actually led to the deposing of Pope Benedict in 2013. All of that because of direct action from below. We have to take these actions to reclaim the wealth. Our impoverished nations can be fed tomorrow. Our people suffering on reservations and in the inner cities can all be fed tomorrow simply by taking those churches over, taking back the property and wealth. And finally, under international law, the UN Convention on Transnational Criminal Organizations, like the Catholic Church, they have lost their right to function. They're criminally convicted, they've lost the right to their property and assets. We're now obligated under international law to occupy those churches. So I want to say that as a background to what we're going to hear today. This is going out all over the world, all over Canada. And you can get a copy of this flyer at murderbydecree.com under ITCCS updates and Republic of Kanata, K-A-N-A-T-A, republicofkanata.ca under breaking news. Take this and use it in your communities. Not only post it on the churches, but hand it to these officials. They've only had to be handed it, and then they know they have to get off the land or they could face arrest. Here is the eviction and banishment order issued to the Roman Catholic, Anglican, and United Churches by Indigenous elders of the Squamish, Gitxsan, Nuu-Chah-Nulth, Secwepemc, Tsilhqot'in, Cree, Anishinaabeg, Mohawk, and Mi'kmaq nations, July 1st, 2021. We hereby invoke the Great Spirit and the land law of our nations by evicting and banishing forever your churches and their officials and clergy from our territories, and by seizing the wealth and properties of your churches as partial reparations for crimes against humanity committed by you on our people. As foreign invaders, your churches have waged a genocidal war against us, stolen our lands and resources, kidnapped, tortured, and killed generations of our children, destroyed our cultures, and maintained a regime of repression, sex trafficking, and genocide on our nations with your partners in crime, the Government of Canada, the British Crown, the Vatican, and foreign powers like China. As of this date, July 1st, 2021, if you and your officers fail or refuse to abide by this eviction order, you will face immediate arrest for criminal trespass. We hereby commence today the peaceful seizure and reclamation of your church buildings, lands, and other properties and wealth in the name of our people and our murdered relatives. This is issued today with the support of the Canadian Genocide Tribunal and sovereign citizens of the Federated Republic of Canada, who no longer stand under the criminal jurisdiction of the so-called Crown of England. We will post this publicly. We will hand this across the country. Get copies at republicofcanada.ca under breaking news. Run off the PDF their day. Hand it out. Join our movement to take back the wealth of Canada. Every person in Canada, if given that wealth equally in this great nation, would have $250,000 a year. That's the amount of wealth flowing out of this country. And it's flowing out primarily from the indigenous lands. These people are being starved to death and destroyed. Our brothers and sisters, as we watch, we can stop that now by taking back these criminal church buildings and property and assets. They are now all forfeited under indigenous law, international law, and simple morality. Follow this, murderbydecree.com, republicofcanada.ca. To learn more, write to Canadian Genocide Tribunal at protonmail.com for the lost children and the ones who will die tomorrow if we do not take the action now, and defund and disestablish these criminal churches, the Anglican, Catholic, United Church of Canada, and their accomplices in government. This is Kevin Annett, Eagle Strong Voice. Carry it on.